Hey y'all, what's up? It's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. So I just arrived back home from being in Irving, Texas for a few days. I attended a memorial service for my Grammy's sister who unfortunately passed away. It was a beautiful service. It would have made Barbara very proud, so prayers are with my Grammy, her family, and dear Barbara who's watching over us. But like I said, I just got back in town and I figured I would do a different video of showing what is in my makeup bag. These are products that I pretty much use for my everyday face. So nothing glam, there's no eyeshadow, there's no fancy things. This is basically my everyday essentials. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun to share it with you. So we're going to go through my makeup. I'm going to show you what I use for an everyday face. I'm even going to go through my beauty tools because this makeup bag, y'all, is amazing. But that is what we are going to be doing in today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, hit that post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm just going to grab this. So this is my makeup bag, very large and in charge, as you can see. This is my makeup bag. I am in love with it. This is by Steve Madden. I mean, look, this is the size of my head, even a little bigger. Like, this is crazy. The way I found this makeup bag is I am obsessed with Casey Holmes. I love Casey Holmes. I love her channel, her vlog channel. If you want to check her out, I will link her down below. But she did a video a while back. It's been a while. She did a video of what is in her makeup bag, her go-to makeup for her travel bag. I'm looking at the video right now, and the makeup bag she loved was from a brand called Stony Clover, and it was their large pouch makeup bag. And when I saw this makeup bag, I'm like, that is huge, that is perfect, because obviously I don't wear like a natural face. I don't wear light makeup. I don't wear one or two products. So I was like, okay, this makeup bag is perfect for me. So I got on their website. I was like, okay, I'm gonna order it. It's gonna be awesome. You can fit so much in it. Girl, this makeup bag is $64. Like, look, just in case you don't believe me, $64. Look at that. I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, you're gonna spend your money on what you want to spend it on. But for me, that was just too much for a makeup bag, even being so big. So I went to one of my favorite places, which is Marshall's. Y'all, Marshalls, Ross, Home Goods, those are my favorite stores, especially for bags. So I went thinking, okay, maybe I can find something similar, or maybe I can find a cute travel bag, something. There has to be a large makeup bag out there somewhere. And I stumbled upon this. So this is my Steve Madden double zip makeup pouch. This actually retails for $35 if you got it straight from the Steve Madden website. But I got this at Marshall's for $15. $15 versus $64, I'll take it. Plus this is a win for me because the Stony Clover one only has one zip and this has two. So yeah, I got this from my Marshalls for $15. Now I've had this for a little over 2 months, so I'm not sure if they would still carry them. If you want me to be really specific, I now live in Tomball, Texas, but when I got this, if you are in the Houston area, like around Memorial City, I got this at the Marshalls on Bunker Hill. Well, it's not on Bunker Hill, but like I-10 Bunker Hill, if you're around that area, I got it at that little strip where there's Marshalls, there's Ross, there's a DSW in there. I got it at that Marshalls. And I got the teal color. When I was there, I know they had teal, pink, and white. I think that's the only colors they had, and maybe a black. But I love teal color. My house is teal. Not my house in general, but my decor is teal. But it was just a really pretty color, so we are going to go through this. So like I said, it is a double zipper, and the reason I like this is because I have one side for my makeup and one side for my brushes and sponge. By the way, my lighting's being really weird right now, so I don't know if it's going to change off and on, but we're just going to have to work with it. But like I said, I use one side for my makeup, one side for my makeup and sponge. That way everything is separated, nothing gets ruined. So the first side I think we're going to go through is makeup. But like I said, this holds, I don't even know if you can see all that. This holds a lot of makeup. I don't know if you can. Here. This holds a lot of makeup. When I pack a travel makeup bag, I will usually pack 2 of everything. That way I am for certain that I did not forget a product. You can even fit eyeshadow palettes in here. Like I have this Profusion Matte one. Done. You can fit all the way up to a big Morphe one. I have this Morphe one. Let's stuff it in here real quick. And the Morphe is right there. Done. Completely done. Put it in there, zip it up, and you're good to go. So like I said, obviously you can see why I love this makeup bag. It is absolutely huge. Let's pull out that Morphe palette real quick. I I'm going to try my best to go in order when I'm pulling out the products. I was thinking of just like randomly pulling it out, but since I pack in twos, I want to show you the 2 products I always pack when I am traveling. So as y'all know, I always start off with a good primer water, and you know I have been loving the NYX Bear With Me Multitasking Spray. This stuff is awesome. It's a 3-in-1. You can use it to prime, set, or refresh your makeup, and I love the spritzer. I say this all the time that I'm a big judge when it comes to the spritzers on sprays, and this has such a nice long, oh my god. It just has such a fine lawn mist, and I love it. It doesn't make me feel like drenched to where I think, am I gonna mess up my makeup? I don't have to question myself, if that makes any sense. And it dries really fast too. So this is my number 1, but when I need to pack a backup, I go for the Catrice Prime and Fine Multitalent Fixing Spray. I do wish they came out with a bigger bottle of this because this stuff is good, super affordable. It has a little more of a, how do I say it? I don't want to say a blunt spray. What do I want to say? I guess like a forceful spray. Like it's not a fine spray. So I mean, it does like, it's powerful, but it's not hard, if that makes any kind of sense. It's not as fine and long lasting as the NYX one. It is a harder spray, but it's still a fine mist, if that makes any kind of sense. Plus, I love the smell of this. This gives off like a lavender smell. It just calms you. So these are my go-to sprays. Alright, when it comes to actual primers, I've already talked about both of these, saying that they are a dupe for each other. The number 1 primer I will always pack is this Catrice Prime and Fine Poreless Blur Primer. Y'all know when I first tried this, I did not like it. I didn't see a difference. But then after using it for a while, I realized it was the jelly primer I used with this. Now it is one of my favorites. It gives like a velvety texture, if that makes any kind of sense. It feels so smooth, but it feels like you are touching velvet. I just love it. It definitely fills the pores. I have large pores on my nose and on the insides of my cheeks, and this definitely gets the job done. And the backup I will pack with that is the dupe. This is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Blur Primer. I can't really say anything else besides this does the same exact thing that this does. They are both super affordable, so it just depends where you want to go. You can go to Ulta to get this one, you can go to Walmart to get this one. It's just a matter of choice. So for foundation, I am a little weird. I do pack 2 different ones for my face, but I actually use one for my body. I will really only use foundation on my body if I'm wearing like a low cut thing and my face is a little too bronzed. It depends on the shade of foundation I am using that day. But before I talk about the face one, I am going to talk about the body one because I actually don't have a backup of that because I rarely do put foundation on my chest. But if I do, the one I always go for is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. This isn't really new. It came out like a few months ago, but people still are talking about it. This I find perfect for my chest. It doesn't really work on my face. I feel like it tends to cake up. But on my chest, it appears really thin, but with buildable coverage. But it has like a breathable texture to where I feel like when I'm putting it on my chest, I use a foundation brush. And when I'm applying it, I feel like it does not cake up. It doesn't feel like I have makeup on my skin. And it sets well. Very nice. For me, this never transfers on my clothes. It doesn't get splotchy, even if I tend to like have a light sweat, because after all, I am a Texas girl in the summer heat. If I do have like a light sweat, it doesn't like streak. You don't get those nasty streaks on your skin. So this is really good for the body. Now let's jump back to what I use on my face. So the number 1 product I have been packing is this NYX Born to Glow foundation. I'm not going to say I've been packing it because this is the first time I've put it in a travel bag, but since this is the number 1 foundation I've been using, this is what I will bring with me from now on until I find another favorite. I use 2 shades. I use the shade Natural and Vanilla because I feel like that gives me the perfect shade, and these are awesome. I mentioned these in my monthly favorites that these have like a lightweight feeling but so much coverage, and they are super blendable. I'm gonna say it again, being a Texas girl in the summer heat, it gets rough, and you need a foundation that gives you nice coverage but is not cakey, it's not too heavy, it's not going to sweat off your face. So this is my number 1, and my backup for this is going to be the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. I've said the same thing, that these are basically a dupe for each other. This has lightweight feeling but so much coverage. The only thing I'm still fighting with is so many people are saying that this has an SPF smell, and I feel like it smells like a sweet thing, like buttercream or cake. I love the smell of this personally. The only thing I will say about this one compared to this is that this contains SPF 50, and I don't believe this contains any SPF. If I'm wrong, comment down below. But this for sure has SPF. It says it on the front. This is a full coverage protective makeup sunscreen, and this is what I have been going for. I love both of these foundations. They are so lightweight, but boy, do they give some good coverage. So jumping into concealer, bam, may I say more. This is my Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. This is long wearing, and I love it. I still remember the first time I tried this, y'all. It was like in my very first full face of first impressions video, and you can get so much concealer off of 1 pump. For me, one pump does all the concealing on my face. My under eyes, on my mouth, my chin, my smile lines, my nose, and my forehead. I can get that all in one pump. This feels so cooling, so moisturized. It blends out beautifully. What I've started doing with concealer is when I apply my foundation, I'll leave my under eyes bare. I put this on, I start blending from the bottom to the top, and I feel like that gives me the most coverage. I don't really dip into Milani too much just because I feel like even though they are drugstore, they are kind of pricey, but this concealer is worth it. I believe this is $10, don't quote me, but I want to say it's about 10, and this is amazing. So when I had to pack a backup for my Milani concealer, I really had to look through my collection and think about it because I haven't been able to get off of the Milani concealer. I have went back to it. Nothing has been able to top it, but I decided to pack a old favorite, which is the Flower Beauty concealer. When I was just starting out YouTube, this was my go-to concealer. I loved it. I love the long doe foot you get. And for me, this is really creamy. I just felt like, and I still feel like, that there should be a little more product that comes off of the doe foot. But this is still really good. Flower Beauty is super, super affordable. This is a full coverage concealer. Do I feel like it does the same thing my Milani can do? No. And it's kind of funny to say that considering when I started YouTube, like this was my go-to concealer. Nothing could top it. The only con was that I felt like more product should come off. So to be like, I don't know if I would go to this. If I absolutely had to, I would, but I would rather repurchase my Milani. Same thing with setting powder, so we're just going to talk about it. My number one go-to setting powder is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Mattifying Loose Powder. This stuff is milled so great. It's not too fine. It's not super chunky. It does not give you flashback. I love this stuff. It's super easy to blend out. Y'all know I always set my face by dipping my sponge into the powder, and it just gets the job done. I feel like it helps even more with concealing pores. It does not cake up, and my backup to that being the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. My only con with this is even though it is a super huge jar, the only con to this is they make the sifter so deep in there that a lot comes out. Now, I'm not going to complain too much about that. Would I prefer it to be higher up so not a lot of product comes out of it? Yes, but this is not a super chunky powder, so even when I dip my sponge into all of that product, it does not cake up on my skin, it doesn't clump up, it is nice and finely milled, not too fine, not too chunky, pretty much the same thing. I have been able to find dupes at the drugstore, which is kind of funny considering usually dupes are high-end to drugstore. Whereas for me, I feel like I've been able to find quite a few that are drugstore to drugstore. Alright, next up being bronzer. The number one bronzer I decided to pack is by L'Oreal Paris. This is quite new. This is the Bronze Please bronzer in the shade La Terra. So the reason I started dipping into this is because I feel like this is such a diverse shade. It is super intimidating in the pan. It looks like it's too deep for fair skin tones, but I'm wearing this today. I love it. It is a buildable pigmented bronzer. Meaning if you go in with a light hand, you can build it up to be pretty much any deep shade you want. You can make it as light as you want or as deep as you want. Like I said, it's super intimidating in the pan, but even like swatching it, it is not that deep at all. You can build this up to be such a beautiful, deep bronze. The backup I packed to that is this e.l.f. bronzer. I keep getting these names wrong. I want to say these are mineral bronzers, I think they're called on their website. This is in the shade Forever Sun-Kissed. This is obviously much lighter than this L'Oreal bronzer. I mean, look at them both. This is much lighter than the L'Oreal bronzer, but I feel like it gives the same effect where you can build this up to give you a nice sun-kissed bronze color. So for blush, it's kind of weird. I do not feel like the two I packed, I can say I like one better than the other because both of these have been my absolute favorite. When I thought of blushes, I didn't think, okay, I need to pack this one and this one because I like this one better than this one, but I need this one just in case I don't have that one. No, I didn't think of that. I thought, okay, I need to have these two palettes depending on what I'm going to be wearing, if I need a peach look or if I need a pink or mauve look. So saying that, I packed the Makeup Obsession Isn't It Peachy palette. This palette is beautiful. It's full of nice peachy tones and then one pink and peach tone. I've already said this is my favorite one, but recently I've been mixing all three or these two. These are super, super pigmented, but also super, super blendable. Makeup Obsession is a fairly new brand that I tried. They're sold at Target. I do not know if they're going out of Target or if they were making room for new product, but when I went, all of the Makeup Obsession products were on clearance. So if you want to give this a try, rush down to your Target and see if they carry it. So I packed that in case I needed more of a peach tone blush. Now, if I needed a pink or a mauve tone blush, I went for the Wet n Wild Pacman High Score Blush Palette. If y'all have been watching me, you know I love these two palettes. I think they were both in my July favorites. I love them. So this is what this looks like. You get two nice pink tones and two nice mauve tones. So what I'll do with this palette is I will either use a pink or a mauve color, or I'll just swirl them all together to create my own color. Same thing as the Makeup Obsession. These are super pigmented and super blendable at the same time. Alright, so next up I'm going to go ahead and jump into eyebrows. So y'all know I love me some eyebrow pomades, and the one I've been loving is by Makeup Obsession. This is their eyebrow pomade in the shade Blonde. The reason I love this is because y'all look how big this pot is. I mean, compared to my backup one, I'm just going to go ahead and say the backup one I packed is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio. Look at the size difference. This is ginormo. This is also a recent favorite from Target, so if you wanted to give this a try, go down to your Target and grab it. I love this stuff. I felt like that this does not dry out as fast as the Maybelline one seems to. But this is super nice. It doesn't dry out. It has such a nice creamy application. It doesn't like get chunky when you're trying to blend it out with your spoolie. I love this. Compared to the Maybelline Tattoo Studio one, I do love this one as well. But like I said earlier, I feel like this one tends to dry out really, really fast. And it can't be me. I mean, not to be conceited, it can't be me because I never leave the lids off. I only leave the lid off while I'm doing my eyebrows, and then they go right back on into my drawer. So they're always stored in a safe place. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to lashes because I don't have a backup for this. These are just like the standard things I pack. The first one being Duo Lash Glue. I mean, common sense. This is the only lash glue I like to use. I've tried like the black one. I've tried the brush on one. Nothing seems to work for me except for just plain old good on clear Duo Lash Glue. I have, believe it or not, been using some new eyelashes. So if you're new to my channel, typically the only lashes you will see on here is either the Salon Perfect 614s or the Ardell 113s. But I decided to branch out and try some different ones. Now personally for me, I do like full lashes, but I like them to be really wispy to where they look like lash extensions. And these ones I tried were really, really good. These are super wispy, super full, and they were awesome to put on. Such easy application. These are the Kiss No. 1 lashes. These are like my cup of tea. They are super long, but they are wispy at the same time to where they're not too chunky. I don't want to say chunky. They're not too full. I personally don't like the look of really full lashes. They just look super fake to me. The reason I like wispy long lashes is because I feel like they could be pulled off as lash extensions. I also like them because if you're having like a nice eyeshadow day, I feel like if you're wearing super fluttery thick lashes, you're not going to be able to see all your hard work. So these are perfect for me to where you can see I have lashes on, but they are not drawing your attention. So moving on to mascaras. Now I've said before I don't really like to judge mascaras because I only use mascara to combine my real lashes with my falsies. But the ones that I really have been enjoying is this CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. I love the wand on this. This has like such a nice thick wand, no weird shape. It's kind of like a small hourglass shape, and this is super pigmented. Super pigmented, doesn't clump up, doesn't make my lashes look too thick, doesn't weigh them down. This is great, and the backup that I've been packing is the NYX On The Rise mascara. Now the only con to this that I actually at first said was a pro, but after using it for a while, I don't really like it, is the odd shape, because I don't know if you can see that right there. The odd shape tends to get the mascara to be clumpy. So this has become kind of like a backup for me if I don't have the CoverGirl one, if I forgot to pack it or I don't have access to it, then I'll do this one. But the wand has kind of become a miss for me. The wand over time has just become super chunky. I kind of have to wipe off the mascara like on a napkin before applying it, otherwise my lashes do tend to clump up a little bit. I'm going to jump back over to eyebrows real quick because I totally forgot to talk about eyebrow gel. So I have been loving eyebrow gel. I have not been able to go without it. And my number one I've been using, it's this NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde. I love this stuff. If you do know, brow mascara usually comes like in a smaller bottle, and this wand, I love that it is long. This to me is also the perfect blonde shade. I feel like it adds a little highlight into the hair so it looks a little more natural. I mean, my brows are never natural, but I feel like this adds like some nice highlights to the brow. But the backup that I feel like does the same thing is the Essence Make Me Brow. This is in the shade Blondie Brows. Now I do love this, and they are both affordable. But if I have to get this over this with more product, I mean, it doesn't have that much more, let's be real, but it still has more product. If I'm going to choose one, I will choose the NYX. Before moving on, another standard product I want to mention is this LA Girl Perfect Precision Eyeliner. This is in the shade Very Black. So I don't have a backup. This is just a black eyeliner I will throw into a makeup bag, just depending on if I feel like putting eyeliner on my waterline or not. Pretty much plain and simple explanation right there. If I feel like wearing eyeliner, I will. If I don't, I don't. But I will say I usually don't wear eyeliner on my waterline unless I have put eyeshadow on my lower lash line, just because I feel like it's weird. If y'all have been watching me, you know I used to never do anything on my lower lash line or on my waterline, but recently I've started and I love it. But I will not wear eyeliner unless I am doing stuff on my lower lash line. I see the bottom. Hello. So let's move over to highlight, because y'all know highlighting is one of my favorite things to do on my face. So the number one highlight I knew I wanted to pack is by Flower Beauty. This is the Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. I just got a bunch under my nails. Ew. So this is their Shimmer and Strobe Highlighter Palette. First, can we just talk about how wet this looks? This is gorgeous. So you get like a champagne gold color, a blush color, and almost like a tinted ivory. I don't know what to call this color, but this is gorgeous. They are just so wet. Seriously, all you need is just to tap your brush into it. You don't even have to swirl, just a light tap and you get a blinding highlight. This isn't what I'm wearing today. Well, I mean, I'm wearing a little bit, but I'm wearing it on top of a different highlight. But this is what I'm wearing on my nose. Y'all, seriously, all you have to do is tap your brush into this. It is such a money saver. I can see this lasting for such a long time. When I was talking about this in my July hits and misses, I said that this is the kind of product I love. When a brand creates such an affordable product that has such a high-end feel to it. My backup to that is something I used to not be able to live without. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighter. This was from their Crystal Cavern collection. I'm not even sure if this is available anymore. So I was kind of like second guessing if I wanted to talk about it, because I don't want to say that this is one of my favorite highlighters and y'all can't be able to get it. I want to say if it's not in store though, I think it is still on their Wet n Wild website. Go ahead and go check. I believe it is. But this is one of my favorite highlighters. Same thing, it gives off such a wet look. The funny thing about this is it's almost like a putty feeling, but it dries to a powder. The color on this is interesting. It's almost like a icy color, but with like a tint of pink. I love this stuff, especially for dotting my nose. This just goes a long way. Oh my god. Is that not just good? Lord knows I don't need any more highlight on, but we are just gonna do it. So moving on to lips, I really should have technically talked about this in the beginning, because before I start my face, I will condition my lips. And the first thing I do that with, this is from the Wet n Wild Pacman collection. This is the Green Apple Lip Scrub. When I talked about this, I said this is new to me. I've never actually used lip scrubs before until this, but oh my god, I love the smell. But ever since using this, I have fallen in love. This just exfoliates my lips so nice, makes them nice and smooth. And then after exfoliating, I will either follow up with the Wet n Wild Pacman Lip Balm, or what I've been really enjoying is from the NYX Bear With Me Cannabis collection. This is their lip conditioner. I love either one of these. They are not sticky at all. The only difference is that the lip balm from the Pacman collection gives off kind of a red tint. Not too red, but it does give off a reddish tint to it. Whereas the lip conditioner, it is just a clear lip conditioner. It just really moisturizes your lips, gets them prepped for when you're going to apply your lip liner and lipstick. Speaking of lip liners and lipsticks, let's go ahead and jump into that, because that is the only thing we have left. So when I am not wearing eyeshadow, typically I like to have like pink or mauve lips. Not too pink, like a nice muted pink, how that rhymed, but like a muted pink or a mauve pink. So the two lip liners I go for, they have to be creamy lip liners. Let me talk about that first. I am one of the pickiest people when it comes to lip liners. Y'all know I love my Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liners. So that is the number one product I pack. This is the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner in the shade Never Petal Down. I love this. These are amazing. They just glide on. They are retractable, which I love, because I hate sharpening lip liners. So yeah, Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liners. These are my number ones. But I have managed to find a backup. These are by Profusion. These are the Profusion Matte Lip Liners, and I always do this shade Secret. This is definitely like a mauve pink color. Mauve almost going nude, but more on the mauve pink side. Same thing, it is retractable, don't have to sharpen it, and I love them. When I wear lip liner, I will line my lips and actually fill them in all the way, because sometimes I do not even wear lipstick. I will just wear straight up lip liner. But when I do wear lipstick, the number one lipstick I put on top of my liner is by Maybelline. This is the shade Baddest Beige. So this is the shade Baddest Beige. I love this. This isn't exactly what I would call a lipstick. This is almost a lipstick going to a gloss. It definitely is very shiny. It gives off kind of a wet look. I love them. Yeah, even putting it on right now, this is definitely what I would call a gloss. But what I like about these is that it is not sticky. They are just so creamy and luxurious. But if I'm not feeling like going to that, I will go to a lip gloss. And the lip gloss I go to is from the Maybelline Summer McKeen collaboration. These are the new lip glosses that came out. I get 2 shades. I get the shades Tan Line and the shade Barefoot. So the reason I always carry 2 is because the shade Tan Line is definitely more of a tannish nude, and the shade Barefoot is going more pink. These are awesome. I love the applicators that come in these. These are the ones with the holes, so they hold more product. And I love the smell. I've said that they smell like white chocolate ice cream, and I am here for it. So before I forget, when it comes to setting spray, I will actually go to one of my primer waters because both of them happen to be for multi-use. Meaning I can prime my face, set my face, or replenish my face throughout the day. Don't you love like things that you can do more than one thing with? Everything, nothing has one use, guys. Nothing has one use. But the last product I am going to mention is almost like a setting spray for the body. So I love to have some shine on my chest. I've talked about that I love this spray by Bath & Body Works that has some glitter in it, but another one I recently found out that I have been obsessed with is my makeup obsession. This is the Moon Glow Illuminating Fixing Spray. I mean, isn't that just beautiful? This is gorgeous. Now, after using this on my face, I did find out that it was just too sparkly for my face, but I love this just to spray on my shoulders or on my chest, just to have some illumination, but this is gorgeous. It doesn't look like straight up glitter. It just looks like you have a nice sheen, like, oh my god, like the sun melted into your chest, but in a good way. This is gorgeous. It makes me feel like the unicorn I always wanted to be. So that is all the makeup that is in this bag, guys. So we're going to go ahead and zip up that side. So let's go ahead and get into the brush side. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? We're not doing the brush side today. I have decided that this is going to be a 2-part video, guys. So let me know down below if you are interested in seeing the other half of my makeup bag as to the brushes and sponges I carry. I mean, let's be honest, y'all are probably only here for the makeup I carry, but if you're interested in seeing what is in the second pouch when it comes to the brushes, tools, and sponges I carry when I travel, let me know down in the comments below. But that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.